Getting monetized on YouTube changes everything, but not always in the way you might expect. Everyone talks about reaching monetization like it's this magical finish line, but what no one tells you is that it's actually where the real journey begins. Today, I want to have an honest conversation about what happens after you hit that milestone, because there are some things we need to talk about. When I first got monetized, I noticed something happening to me. It was this subtle shift that I didn't expect. You start watching those numbers like a hawk. The views, the likes, the ad revenue, and before you know it, you're checking your analytics every hour. I've caught myself doing this, checking my phone first thing in the morning, refreshing YouTube Studio throughout the day. At first, I thought this was just part of being a serious creator, but then I realized something was off. Oh, and if you've ever caught yourself in this cycle with your analytics, let me know in the comments below. There's this pressure that comes with monetization. Suddenly, your creative space becomes tied to income. It's subtle at first, you might not even notice it happening, but slowly you start making decisions differently. You find yourself asking, will this video make money? Before asking, will this video make a difference? I've seen so many creators fall into this trap. Their content starts feeling less like art and more like a product. Their eyes get fixed on the analytics instead of the impact. And while making money from your creativity isn't bad, it's actually beautiful when done right. And while this video isn't meant to discourage you, I think it's important to be real about what happens behind the scenes, because nobody really talks about this part of the journey. You see, I'm still a budding channel, so I'm grateful I noticed this early, because the moment money enters the equation, everything gets more complicated. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Your relationship with your content changes. Suddenly there's this pressure to perform rather than just create. Your relationship with your community starts to shift. Sometimes you catch yourself getting lost in the numbers instead of appreciating those genuine connections you're building here. Even your relationship with yourself changes. You begin questioning if you're making decisions based on your truth or based on what might bring in more revenue. I remember sitting at my desk one morning, staring at my content calendar and realizing I had planned out an entire month of videos based purely on what I thought would do well. Not a single video was something I was genuinely excited to make, and that was my wake-up call. That's when I realized something had to change. I needed to find a way to balance making content I love while still growing my channel, because if I didn't figure this out now, I knew I'd end up burning out or losing myself in the process. So I did something that might sound a little different from your typical YouTube advice. Instead of looking outward for solutions, I decided to look inward. And what I discovered completely transformed how I approach my channel. I had this moment where I just sat down with my journal and got really honest with myself. And I mean really honest. Not the kind of honesty we show on social media, but the kind that makes you a little uncomfortable. I realized I needed a personal mission statement. Yes, I know that sounds a bit extra, but stay with me here, because this changed everything about how I approach my channel now. See, a content strategy tells you what to post and when, but a mission statement, it tells you why you're posting in the first place. It keeps you anchored when those numbers start playing mind games with you. So I started asking myself these questions, and I want you to actually pause and think about these too, because they might just change how you see your whole experience. I started thinking about what makes my journey different, not what would get views, but what conversations could I have that feel real to me? What parts of my story might help someone else? For me, it was this intersection of being an artist, a mother, a creative entrepreneur, and someone who's always trying to grow spiritually. That's my unique lens. Then I dug deeper and asked, who am I really here to serve? Because when you try to speak to everyone, you end up really speaking to no one. I realized I'm here for the creators who feel a little different, maybe a little misunderstood, the ones who want to make money from their art but don't want to lose their soul in the process. But the question that really stood out to me was this: what would I create if I knew my next video would only reach one person, but would completely transform their life? That question, it changed everything, because suddenly it wasn't about reaching millions. It wasn't about hitting those arbitrary view counts. It became about impact over income. Let me give you a real example of how this plays out. Last month, I had this video idea that I knew would probably do well with the algorithm. It was trending. It was what everyone was talking about. But when I checked in with my mission statement, something felt off. It just wasn't aligned with who I am and what I'm here to do. So I decided to create something completely different instead, something that felt true to me. And you know what happened? The views were lower, yes, but the comments were incredible. And some people said it was exactly what they needed to hear that day. That's when I really understood views might pay the bills, but impact feeds the soul. You know what's fascinating about this journey? The deeper I go, the more I realize that building a YouTube channel is really about building yourself. Every video becomes this opportunity to learn something new about who you are, not just about content creation, but about how you handle challenges, how you process feedback, how you show up when things get uncomfortable. I'll share something that really opened my eyes. I noticed myself starting to edit away parts of my personality in my videos, filtering my opinions, holding back what I really wanted to say, all because I was trying to protect myself from potential judgment. If you've ever caught yourself doing this too, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your experience with this. But here's where things shifted for me. I had this moment of clarity that changed everything. I realized by trying to protect myself from judgment, I was actually hiding the very things that could create the deepest connections. You see, we're all on our own paths, growing and evolving in our own unique ways. Some people will resonate deeply with where you are right now. Others might connect more with where you're headed. And that's exactly how it should be. When you start seeing these patterns in yourself, something beautiful happens. That awareness becomes your compass for growth. And suddenly you're not just building a channel anymore. You're building something real, something meaningful, something true. I'll be honest with you, YouTube has been one of my greatest teachers. It showed me where I still need to heal, where I need to set better boundaries, and where I need to trust myself more. There are days when I sit down to film and I can feel the resistance. You know that feeling when you know you have something important to share, but that little voice of doubt creeps in. That's when I remind myself this isn't just about making videos. This is about showing up fully, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. And you know, the videos that scared me the most to make were the ones that ended up creating the deepest connections. Those are the ones where people messaged me saying, I thought I was the only one who felt this way. That's the real magic of this platform. When you're willing to share your truth, your real, messy, beautiful truth, you give other people permission to do the same. And isn't that what we're all here for? To remind each other that we're not alone in this journey? You know, this realization completely changed how I view success on YouTube. I used to think it was all about perfecting your editing or mastering the algorithm. But now I know it's about being brave enough to be seen, to share not just what you know, but also who you're becoming. Your channel will grow exactly as much as you're willing to grow. The numbers might tell you how many people watched your video, but the true impact lies in how much you've grown, how many lives you touched, and how much courage you've given others to show up too. One of the best parts of sharing my journey here is connecting with creators like you. I know what it's like to feel stuck between wanting to grow your channel while staying true to your creative vision. I've been there, trying to figure out what content to make, wondering if anyone's really listening. When I started actually connecting with my audience, understanding their struggles, and creating content that served them, everything changed. My channel grew from 600 to over 6,000 subscribers in just a few months. But more importantly, I built real connections with people who resonated with my message. That's why I started offering one-on-one coaching. I hope you get clear on your channel's potential and create content that connects with your audience. Before each session, I do a full channel audit looking at everything from your messaging to your presentation style, so our time together is focused on moving you forward. I especially love working with artists and creative entrepreneurs who put their heart into what they do, those who want to create something meaningful beyond numbers. Through our sessions, you'll find your unique voice, craft content that resonates, and build a channel strategy that feels true to who you are. If this resonates with you, you'll find the link to book a session in the description. I have limited spots each month, so don't wait if it's calling to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Whether you're just starting out or already monetized, what we're doing here is bigger than making videos. It's bigger than algorithms, analytics, or anything the YouTube gurus focus on. We're creating something meaningful here. Every video you make could be exactly what someone needs to hear that day. The kind of content that touches hearts and shifts perspectives. That's the real metrics of success if you ask me. This journey isn't always easy. I still get nervous hitting upload after 2 years, but there's something powerful about showing up as yourself even when it feels uncomfortable. When you focus on serving instead of performing, on growing, the right people will find their way to you. There's this natural flow that happens when you're being true to who you are. It's okay to switch things up sometimes. It's okay to take breaks when your spirit needs it. Your content might connect with a smaller, dedicated audience, and that's beautiful. This journey isn't about building just a channel. It's also about building something impactful. If you're ready to take this journey deeper, check out the coaching link in the description below. Let us know in the comments, what's been your biggest lesson since starting your YouTube journey? I really want to hear your perspective on this. Thank you for being here, for being part of this community. Keep creating, keep growing, and never stop believing in yourself. I'll see you in the next video.